Assalamualaikum and good afternoon. Today we're going to continue our writing for digital media class for week 9. The topic for today is writing for spaces and places. These are the objective. We're going to plan and organize written content for web, digital spaces, digitally distributed media, and we're going to do this based on web-specific style guides. These are 11 rules of writing content for your website. We might have more than 11, but for now, we're going to discuss the 11 rules. Some of them are knowing your audience. You have to have short, simple sentences. You need to have scannable text and try to avoid jargon. And you have to leave your audience to want more from your content. We're going to discuss these 11 points, and the first rule is you have to know your target audience. As we discussed in previous classes, you really have to define your primary audience, as well as you have to also know who are your secondary audience. This secondary audience, they can influence and inform the primary audience. You have to find out how they will find your website, and your website has to be accessible and interesting to these two target audiences. There should be a way how to have your presence on social media, links from other websites that you might have email sharing before, and you need to know about the search engine approach. Search terms in headlines and subheads for search engine optimization need to be properly planned. The inverted pyramid model is one of the famous approach used by journalists when they write the content. Normally, the most important message they go at the top of the page, then gradually drills down to the more specific and supporting information. In the end, you have some details about your information. If you look at the diagram, we have design and information at the top and the bottom. You really have to rearrange your content in a way so that it's easy for your target audience to read and scan through. This is another example of inverted pyramid model. Let's discuss if you want to have a conference, the most important details you put at the top. This is a description of the theme, the date, and location. This has to come at the top of the page, and follows by supporting details, that's the speakers and the lecture topics. This is in the second stage. And the least important information, such as the conference, organizers, the history of the conference series, list of related sources, comes at the bottom. So if you look at the pyramid model for web writing, the session information should come at the top. It comes with additional information and the least important information. You have to know that you only have 2 seconds to hook your readers. They might just go away if they don't have something interesting for them to read. The next rule is you have to write short, simple sentences. Readers demand sentences of 35 words or less than that in a sentence. Accessible and easy to read will make you reach wider audience. Try to focus on nouns and verbs instead of using adverb and adjective. Uh, in a way, it is suggested that your level of reading should focus on 12 to 15-year-old. This is according to American studies. By having this approach, it's easy for readers to scan through and to see what's your main points are. The next rule is you have to use active voice. Active voice creates succinct, reader-friendly sentences. And let's look at this example. A coffee was ordered. This should be replaced by the man ordered a coffee. By using active verbs, and you have to specify the subject. This makes it clear for the user to know what you are trying to say. And try to look at the other example. We have to speak directly to the audience. You can do it. It's more engaging than saying it can be done. So active voice helps you to create something more friendly for the user to read. You also have to show, not just tell. You have to be specific real world examples. These help readers better understand and visualize your messages. By having specific descriptive product information, this will help your website search engine optimization and give customers the information they need to make those purchases. This is very important for you to do when you write your content. Let us take a look at this example of a page where it really shows what it's all about. Just telling roasted figs from Calabria, the flight of the figs. The words they use, I mean, the way they describe how things are process in making the figs is clearly uh, well written, and it's interesting for the readers to read. It shows how it is done, and it's like the fix is really traveling. When you are in the fig area, you really want to know in details about this. So it's important for you to follow this kind of writing. You need to avoid using jargon. You have to make sure information is understandable by your broad target audience. You have to spell out acronyms on first use. Try to avoid language only meant for a specific group. Explain complex term or niche information. Provide hyperlinks for more information on a particular topic if you need to. And bear in mind, as we discussed in the first point, write for your audience and not for your colleagues. I'm giving you this example of journalists grabbed an SOT from the MOS, drove back to the station and put the story in the can. This is the jargon used by journalists. You have to try to avoid doing this to make sure that your target audience understand what you're trying to say. So this SOT and MOS has to be written in full so that people can understand. Another rule is to mix up your word choice. You have to keep your visitors interested. How to get this? You have to have a variety of words in your writing. Try to use word clouds to avoid overusing certain words. By using certain word cloud services online, you can see how many times you have used certain words in your writing. Some keywords in your website has to appear several times. There are exceptions, however. You have to keep terms consistent across your website to avoid confusing your visitors. Example, in a photography business, you don't want to use photo shoots and photography session. This refers to the same thing. If you use different terms, your customers might get confused. Again, another terms used like do you use client, patients, or users? Do you prefer to use services, packages, or plans for your services? This has to be clearly decided before you start writing, and you have to look how to mix up all these words choice in your writing. You also have to make your text scannable. I think we discussed this in the previous class. Readers will scan the page to find specific piece of information they're looking for. If they don't get what they want, they just move. Instead of having one long page of text, try to organize into labeled tabs. I think we discussed this detail in the display copy topic. Always have a white space because this white space around the text it makes more legible, readable, and more enjoyable to read. As we discussed in display copy class, you have to divide content into sections with descriptive subheaders. This is one example how you have header number one, header number two, and header number three. So there is a way for users to scan through what you're writing, and it's easy for them to look at your content. These white spaces between the text also make it more visible with all the information and the space. It's breathable content, I would say. You also need to incorporate multimedia. According to research, 90% of information the human brain is visual. Images normally break up text, making your page easier to read. there's a rule of thumb is at least one image on each page of your website. We can have a different opinion, but this is what's been suggested. You have to layer your content. The good thing about website, it is easily to direct users from one page to another. By having hyperlink of certain words or phrases to another relevant sources, you can link this to your own website, actually, to another page. Example, this ratatouille is a low-fat dish that consists of seasonal ingredients like eggplant, squash, and tomatoes. You could hyperlink low-fat dish to a page with another blog, or maybe you're writing before on healthy eating. So having this layer of content linking from one page to another, giving reference to your user, helps you to have a very good content in getting users more attracted to your points. As we also do in copywriting for advertising, we have call to action. You have to leave your audience wanting more. Having this call to action is very important to get people to do something after understanding, after reading your content. For example, our team, we have an entire team of editors ready to help. We work with you to make your writing clear, consistent, and web-friendly. Contact us. This is a button. Also, after reading that, they have to do something. So this call to action is very important for you to engage your users, come back or to do something about your content. A good website on each page with a strong call to action. They end each page with call to action. Is there a person or a reader? A reader should contact for more information. Are there any interesting videos for them to watch after reading this content? How about related blog posts they can read or report they can download? This help direct readers to another area of your website and encourages them to promote your content to their family. So you have to have this download, share, join, sign up, learn more, or watch. So this call to action is very important for you to leave your target audience wanting more. That's the end of our class today. I hope you get all the 11 rules for writing for web. And I like to emphasize that we have our assignments, your blog, and also your journal summary. I hope you can continue doing those and send me your summaries accordingly. We are targeting about 10 journals. And I think by next week, we would like to see your blog, uh, any introduction or any style that you want to discuss, you can share with me through WhatsApp. And I hope you have a good time. Have a pleasant Ramadan and Eid Mubarak for you for the coming weekend. Hope we see you again next week. Assalamu alaikum and have a good day.